I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. The air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. It is Sunday, the 4th of May, 2025. And it's cold. I cannot believe how freaking cold it is. Good Lord. A middle-aged guy is out to dinner with his wife to celebrate her 40th birthday. He says, so what would you like, Julie? A Jaguar, a sable coat, a diamond necklace? She says, Bernie, I want a divorce. My goodness, he says, I wasn't planning on spending that much. Hey-oh! 40th birthday. You're pretty much at that point in the cheaper to keeper range, so I definitely understand where he's coming from. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. We will let a few of you get in here. I know. It's been a couple days. We had the weekend off. It was refreshing. Thank God, had a couple days just to relax and go over some things and not have to prep a show. We're back. It's Sunday. We've got a busy week ahead of us. Man, I knew it right as I did that. I have a splinter in my just about the midpoint of my heel, and I kicked it right. I have a fan underneath the desk, and I kicked it and put the foot down right on that splinter. I need to get that splinter out. Things we'll talk about after the show's over. We'll get rid of once the show is over. I did it right before we got live, and I didn't have time to dig it out. So, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We got a busy week ahead of us this week. It's the 4th of May if you're watching this live, obviously. But that being said, it's like the first of the month, you know. The first fell on Thursday, which basically everything was over. That means this week is meetings week. We have a busy week scheduled for a lot of us. Tomorrow, Monday the 5th, Cinco de Mayo. We have scheduled at 9 a.m. Delaware County Commissioners meetings, Randolph County Commissioners meetings. That's scheduled for Monday morning at 9. And then At 6 p.m., I think they'll be having a Winchester City Council meeting. I never know if they do over there or not on actual the first Mondays of the month. A lot of those meetings they go ahead and cancel, so I really don't know how they do things over there really anymore. They might. It's questionable. They could have one at 6 p.m. There will be a Newcastle City Council meeting at 6:30. And then the big one, there will be a Muncie City Council meeting at 7 p.m. And also, because we have some people from the Alexandria area that have been watching, I believe that tomorrow is the first Monday meeting. I believe that Alexandria has a meeting tomorrow that starts at 6 p.m. So tomorrow's a busy day for governmental meetings that'll be taking place all throughout East Central Indiana. No, it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be because they haven't. We haven't had the planning commission yet. So I called last week and asked the beginning of last. It was either the beginning of last week. Hello there, Jeremy. It was either the beginning of last week or the end of the week before, and I asked the Planning Commission, the Delaware County Planning Commission, if they had scheduled the hearing, the Planning Commission meeting that we will all be able to go partake in out at the new Delaware County Justice Center in the auditorium where they have seating for lots and lots and lots of people. And they told me at that time that they did not have a meeting set. They said they did not have a meeting set. Interestingly enough, the lady took my name and number and said that she would call me when a meeting would be set. Now, I think that's interesting because that's quite a government service. I've never had that happen before, but I don't, to my knowledge, I haven't received a phone call. I've not received anything that lets me believe. Let me go on Delaware County Commissioner's page here and see if maybe we're missing something, because to anybody out there watching, have any of you heard Delaware? Hello there, Brenda. Nothing on the calendar yet. So no, tomorrow I don't believe they will be doing the second. They can't do the second reading because it hasn't been before the Planning Commission yet. So I'm really surprised it's taking so long. I'm surprised it's taking them so long to get that going. It normally does not take them that long. So I don't exactly understand what's going on. I will call there. Let me mark that down to do. I will call there tomorrow and find out. All right. I'll let you guys know tomorrow evening when we go live. Now, I do want to quick put up the reminder to, or at least let you guys know. I don't have anything to put up. I've not made a banner. Obviously, tomorrow is Monday the 5th. There is a council meeting. We're going to go over the Muncie City Council agenda. We're going to go over, this is going to be pretty much a Muncie night. And it's probably not going to be that long of a show. We're just going to go over the City of Muncie agenda. We're going to go over the Board of Works meetings from last week. And I'm going to talk about a couple of other meetings and important things from this week. So it's just kind of like this is like a pre-show kind of getting ready for the other things that'll be taken care of this week. So we'll be going over all of that. This is an important show for those that are watching, or maybe those that should be watching but aren't because they've forgotten, or it's Sunday night and they just didn't get here. So if you would, please share the show with everyone you know. Help spread the word. If you know people that are here that are generally here but they are not now, please remind them. And if you would, smash that like button before you leave. Do that now if you would, so you don't forget. If you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so, yada, yada, yada. And obviously communicate over here with us if you're here watching live, or communicate down there below if you're here via replay. So tomorrow is the Muncie City Council meeting. Oh, and there is, if I can get this thing out of the way. Makes sense. Oh, she did that first. There's the stuff to follow us if you're so inclined to follow us. You can find all of our contact information there. So the big reminder is tomorrow night is the Muncie City Council meeting, which means we could be live at 9 p.m. tomorrow, or it could be more like 9:30, or it could be more like 9:45. Just because the council meetings can run longer. I don't believe tomorrow's meeting will be long because the agenda is rather short, and we'll get into that here in a moment. First and foremost, I want to pull this up here and show you guys. Let me see here. Oh, man. That's what's so jumpy on this Delaware County Commissioners page. Give me one moment here. I will let you guys see the... Man, I do not know how... Maybe Kate can help me when we get off here. I'm figuring out a way to make... Are you using a Windows computer? Are you using a Mac computer? Okay. You usually use a Windows computer, don't you, at home? Okay, let me show you what I'm dealing with, and we can try to maybe work through this here real quick. If not, we can do it later. So here, and maybe this won't bother you guys. I don't know if it's I don't know what's going on here. So when I pull up a thing here, and it's black and not white. See, it's inverted. Do we know how I would go about fixing that? Settings. Appearance. Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, so you're on a dark view or night view or something. So you want to change it so it's not that.
Appearance. Oh. Looky there. And all was well again.
It's like dark or something is what it's called. Yeah.
Nope. Hold on, let me see. Let me see if I can get it pop up here again. Here. Right way. Agenda. Commissioners meeting. Damn it. Oh, well, I'll figure it out later. We've got that. What are you talking about down there, Alva? Did you send me something about that? About the people lying? I think you sent me something. I don't specifically know what you're talking about off the top of your head down there. But
oh, they had a judge down there in Louisiana who decided to tell everybody that she'd been she'd been to war and she was made a captain, when in fact they looked at her twice for captain and didn't promote her, and so she had to get out.
What
Try
kind
those
of
dots.
judge?
I don't remember.
Like a circuit court judge or something like that?
Try those 3 dots in the corner.
Here? Well, these 3 dots don't do anything.
Document property? So I don't know. Okay, I think you're just shut out of luck. It's going to be black on white. So this
Yeah, I'll
seal
figure it
looks
out at some
wonky.
point. I just didn't know if we could get it fixed real quick, but that's no big deal.
Nope, sorry, I'm useless.
That's no big deal. I'll figure it out. All right, thank you much. That's interesting about that judge down there. I'll have to take a look at what's going on down there. So anyways, all right. Delaware County Commissioners meeting. This is for tomorrow, May 5th, 2025 at 9 a.m. Remember, if you want to be on the agenda to speak, you need to be at the meeting before the meeting starts, which I think still is a completely more moronical type of bullshit that I've never heard. It's just nonsense. So for Stephen Brand, if you're out there in the world listening to this, or if you're someone that gets back to Stephen Brand, the fact that you're not protesting against this, I've given you now enough meetings, and I listened to what Stephen said, and Stephen said, and I truly believe him. This is why it's strange with Stephen, okay? Because Stephen says to me, if I were president, and when I am president, the meetings will not run that way. Grand, I love it. What I love it. Thank God. That's amazing. And I'm like, that's wonderful. However, because you're not president, and because you are currently a sitting elected official on the commission, I would like to hear you protest against this for the betterment, for what's better for the constituents. And what he said to me back, like his first or second meeting was, well, they know I don't like that. Shannon and Sherry know that I don't like it. And I've told them that I don't like it, but I've got to work with them. So, I don't say anything. Okay, well, we're now past that. I now want to hear you say it on the record. I don't want to hear what you've said to him behind the scenes in some kind of a weird meeting that you shouldn't be having with them. I don't know how you would have expressed that to him, because expressing something like that to Shannon, not in a public meeting, would really be an open door violation. So I would like to hear it on the record. And honestly, I would like to hear you protest it every meeting, because it's nonsense. It's bullshit. You guys should have it set up to where you're meeting the public where they are. And it doesn't make sense that you would have a situation where you would say, you've got to be here right at 9, or we are going to not allow you to use your First Amendment right to speak to the elected officials that work for you, your public servants. So that's just a gripe I have, and whatever. So that's that. All right, moving on. So just remember, if you want to be on the record, you got to be there before 9 a.m. Call to order, pledge to the flag, roll call, public hearing, appointments, commissioner's office, executive administrator. Okay, I don't know exactly what that is. Tabled business. Solar moratorium, I assume tomorrow. Tomorrow or the 6th, I think is the 5th or the 6th, I think is scheduled to be the end of the moratorium, if I'm right. I might be wrong. I don't know. That being said, I believe if it is the end of the moratorium, I assume they'll just extend it until they have this second reading, at least. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. So that's that. Then the next table of business is the IU Health Master Agreement, Pam McCammon, the Land Bank, Nate Howard, and then an address at 804 East Willard Street. That'll all be talked about. Approval of the minutes, they'll do that. Presentations. Ted Baker is going to be there to speak for the Innovation Connector. It'll be interesting to see what is said there. I don't know. I'm sure he's there asking for money. Everything Ted is about is money, getting money, wanting the city to give money, wanting the county to give money. I'm assuming it'll be something to do with money. Contracts or agreements for approval. The CCMG under advisement bids. John Brook. The CC, that's the Community Crossings grant, I would assume. The Community Crossings 2025 one road paving projects, LPA consulting contract. We've got 1315 East Main Street proposal. 1315 East Main Street, Jeffrey Howe, Muncie Redevelopment Commission. That'll be interesting. I'm really interested to hear what's going on with that with Jeffrey Howe. Delaware County Mental Health Facility change order. That's interesting. We're going to start hearing the cost of this thing skyrocket, I imagine. And I'm interested in what they've done there. Do they have a plan? Who is going to be running the facility? Is it still the facility? The facility is going to be ran by the people who are having a lot of issues. I'm interested in hearing all of that. Okay, then we go into PayGov agreement, Rick Spangler, Comcast agreement for mental health facility, Shannon Henry, because having TV there is important. I'm sure it's about the internet and things like that. Ordinance for first reading, Ordinance 2510, an ordinance to amend an ordinance regulating traffic on certain public streets in Delaware County. Ordinances for second reading, Ordinance 2509, proposed solar ordinance amendments. I think that will just have to be, it's on there. I think it'll have to be tabled. I don't see them doing anything with it until we get the planning commission meeting. So we'll have to see what happens with there. Resolutions for approval, Resolution 2509, a proclamation honoring Dr. Donna Wilkins and declaring June 27th, 2025 as Donna Wilkins Day in Delaware County, Indiana. Great. Old business, department heads and elected officials. County distributor truck, Tommy Humbert. Weekly, monthly, and quarterly reports. Payment of claims. The claims, $3,216,606.91. There we go there. Hello. Lots of money. But the difference is at least it's every 2 weeks, and it's the entire county government. You know, it's funny to see. It's really funny to see that the city of Muncie, just what's paid by the Board of Works, is very close in a 1 week period on a routine basis, is very close to what the entirety of the Delaware County government pays in a 2 week span. That's kind of interesting. So in a 2 week span, their claims are $3.2 million. And so that's interesting to look at that. Payment of the ARP claims, payment of the payroll for 4/23/25 is $1,048,950. Will the auditor's office be able to handle the payroll this time? Will they screw anything up? It's always a wait and see. So we'll have to see what happens then. So then we get into public comments at that point. Commissioners' comments, Shannon Henry, Stephen Brand, Sherry Riggin, and then they adjourn. They call it a recess. Whatever. It's all the same. It's just word crap there. So that's the Delaware County Commissioners meeting for tomorrow, and it doesn't really look like there's a whole lot on there. So it should be a pretty quick meeting. We will not be live streaming the meeting. The meeting will be live streamed on the Delaware County Government's page. If you want to watch the meeting, you can watch it from there. I will share their page on my social medias, Facebook and Twitter, so people can go there to see them. But we won't be live streaming it just because there's really no point to live stream it if you can go and watch it on their YouTube page. So you can watch it on the Delaware County Government's YouTube page, or you can watch it if you go to my Facebook or my Twitter. You can find the link, and we'll go over that meeting sometime. If anything crazy happens or anything big that's really relevant, we will discuss that either Monday or Tuesday or sometime the rest of this week. So there that is, and it'll be interesting to see what, if anything, they do. All right. Moving on from there. Now, the next big agenda that I want to go over is the Muncie City Council agenda for tomorrow. And that is here. Put this up. This is really a pretty straightforward deal. There's no public hearing beforehand, so the meeting will begin right at 7 p.m. We will be live streaming the Muncie City Council meeting. It's already made. It's already up, so you guys will be able to watch this as soon as the meeting starts. It will be up. Of course, they'll go through the regular Pledge of Allegiance, invocation, citizen recognition, roll call, approval of the minutes, appointments to boards and commissions, committee reports, ordinances previously introduced, and then we go into Ordinance 1325, which this was talked about at the last meeting. It's an ordinance to vacate a portion of certain public alley at 2619 West Ethel Avenue in the city of Muncie. Pretty standard ordeal. If you remember Ordinance 1425, they voted on that last month, and then they voted to suspend the rules, and they went ahead and passed that all through. That's why we see 13 and then 15. So Ordinance 1425 went ahead and was passed last meeting. 1525 is an ordinance to amend the City of Muncie's comprehensive zoning ordinance from R3 residential zone to the BV business variety business zone on the premises located at 3300 North Milton Street. Of course, these are things they've been working on for a while. And then Ordinance 1625 is an ordinance amending Ordinance 3324, fixing the maximum salaries of each and every appointed officer, employee, deputy, assistant, departmental, and institutional head of the City of Muncie, Indiana, included herein for the year 2025. This is just an amendment on the salary ordinance. I don't know if this will include I think that this is in connection with the raise that they just voted through at the last meeting. I assume that's what this is. I'll check, but I mean, this is pretty standard because of what they've been doing with the salary ordinance over the last couple of months. This is pretty standard what happens always at the first of the year. I mean, it's weird talking about things at the first of the year because we're in May. We're not like near January or whatever, but it's only that they only meet 5 times. So, it's weird, but it's still first of the year stuff. So that's that. Then we go into new ordinances, and there are only 2 of them. Ordinance 1725 and Ordinance amending Chapter 159, floodplain management of the Muncie Code of Ordinances. That's interesting. And then Ordinance 1825, which is an ordinance of the City of Muncie amending chapters 92 and 95 of the City of Muncie's Code of Ordinances due to the anticipated opening of the skate park at Westside Park. And that's, I'm assuming, just dealing with that skate park there. It'll be interesting because I assume the mayor will take a big, well, I don't know that he'll be there, but he may or may not be there. But I'm sure there will be people in the administration that will say, like, look, this is the mayor's big thing, and look what a great thing that he's done. And I'm sure Dale Basham will try to take credit for this, where, in my opinion, this is all Roselvi. This is Roselvi. Roselvi has had a lot to do with this. The skate park is here and is done. I saw, I mean, I don't know that it's completely done, but it's really close. I saw some kids skating on it last week, and I was never a skater, but looked cool. Looked like what they were doing was pretty cool. Seemed like they were happy with it. So, I don't know how close this is to being done. I would assume it's very close because it just didn't look like there was a whole lot more needed there. But so it's kind of a cool thing, but a good thing that Councilor Roselvi did. There are no resolutions, and then goes into other business and adjournment. I will be surprised if this meeting takes longer than an hour tomorrow. So I fully believe that we will be in and out of this thing, God willing, by 8 o'clock. So I fully suspect that we will go live tomorrow at 9 p.m. I just want to remind you guys that, if you remember last meeting in April, they talked about the very first issue for over almost 2 hours. So, you never know, something can pop off and go crazy. I don't suspect that to happen because of what is and isn't on this agenda. So I don't think it's going to be a big ordeal, but just, you can always kind of keep that in the back of your mind. That being said, I truly don't believe this will be a long meeting. So we should get done pretty quickly. Okay. So that is that. Let me pull up here now the City of Muncie Board of Works meeting. I am from there, after we get Monday's meetings done, I do want to remind everybody that it's not just Monday that's busy. Tuesday, there will be a Madison County Commissioners meeting at 10 a.m. And then at 5:30 on Tuesday the 6th, that's when the EPA will be in Anderson at the Anderson Public Library in the Delaware Room. And they will be holding that follow-up meeting to the meeting that Brianna Davis held. Brianna and Nicole held last week or the week before, 2 weeks ago. So they'll be holding that meeting. We are going to have Brianna on. She did a really good interview with I don't know who she did the interview with, but it aired on what's his name? The old mayor, Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith, the old mayor from Anderson. Kevin Smith, who is the old mayor from Anderson, he has a radio program that her interview appeared on. And once again, she did an amazing job. I mean, it was really, really pretty cool. So we will listen to that. I'm trying to think. We'll probably listen to bits and pieces of that tomorrow. No, excuse me, not tomorrow. Sunday. So today is Sunday. We will listen to it Tuesday. So the plan is tomorrow we will show the Muncie City Council meeting we'll also have the Delaware County meeting. And then when we're live tomorrow for episode 443, we will talk about the Muncie City Council meeting, and if anything of any seriousness happens with the Delaware County Commissioners meeting, we'll talk about it. And then on Tuesday, we will be at the Anderson meeting at 5:30. And then Tuesday evening, when we have our live show, I believe that we will have Bree on. Hopefully Bree will be able to come on after that meeting. It just depends on how long it goes. And we'll have her on to kind of follow up on what we hear at the EPA's meeting. And so then on that Tuesday show, we will play bits and pieces of this interview with Bree that she did with Kevin Smith. It was a really good interview. So we'll have that on there. There's a possibility that we might have to kick her to Wednesday just because of what she has going on, but we'll have it Tuesday or Wednesday. So stay tuned to listen to that if that's something you're interested in. But I will be there. So that'll be Tuesday. And then on Wednesday morning at 9 a.m., I'm going to go to the Muncie Board of Works. And after the last week and a half of looking back, I have not been able to find any bids, any other bids, or any process in which they took other bids for the Till Pond deal or the Muncie Point Project Park deal for Flatland Resources. So I'm going to attend on Wednesday the 7th, the Board of Works meetings, and I'm going to find out what their knowledge is of the Flatland Resources and why the bid process wasn't followed, because both of those jobs are extremely high paying jobs, and bids should have been taken. I don't understand why the bid process wasn't followed. So we will be going there and asking that. So because of that, I figured it would probably be a good thing to go ahead and take a look at the Board of Works meeting from last week, because we didn't look up the Board of Works meeting. We didn't look at that. We've had so much going on here. I've watched things that have been happening, or people brought them to my attention, but we didn't actually watch it here. So we're going to watch this meeting. Now, amazingly, it is a little bit longer than they've been here in the last couple of weeks. Really, for about the last 2 months, the meetings have been 8 minutes or under. Clinton really got it close. This meeting that we're going to watch is just a little over 10 minutes. So, you know, that's really, really going crazy there. Let me pull this up here and we will watch this. Up on the screen for y'all. Here we go. All right, ready to rock and roll.
Safety, please rise if you can for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning, everyone. Roll call, please.
Ted Baker.
Present.
Lola Bauer.
Present.
Linda Griffin.
Present.
Okay, thank you. We have been presented the minutes for the April 23rd meeting. Could we have a motion to approve as presented?
Yeah, I move approval of the April 23rd minutes as presented. Second.
Okay, any comments or questions? Okay, having none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Excuse me, motion carried. We've been given the register of claims for the week. Mr. Craig Wright, City Controller. Good morning, Craig.
Morning. Sent out the claims yesterday afternoon. Usual, we did have some, a larger claim by EMS with Stryker, and that was a contract agreement. Those are for cardiac monitors, which I made note of. And with that, I'll open it up to any questions you might have.
Okay, Linda?
I have none.
Lola?
I have none. Thank you.
All I know is that this is big insurance week.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah, mostly insurance. So,
Yes.
okay, do we have a motion to approve the register of claims?
I move approval of the claims for $1,037,255.
Second, sorry.
Kate.
Do we have any comments or questions? Okay, having none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, motion carried. Thank you, Craig. Next, new order of business, request for flex space for Vera Mae's Bistro. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Could you state your name, please?
Nicholas Kirkpatrick,
Okay, and Nicholas, you're here for.
requesting flex space for Vera Mae's patio. There have
Okay.
been no changes to the layout since last year.
Okay, which is a yearly occurrence, and we've already done one for the downtown last week, so we are wondering, we knew you were going to be close, so. Okay, any questions?
I have no.
Okay, so
none.
do we have a motion to
Yeah.
approve this request?
I move approval of the request for the flex space.
And I'll second.
Okay, any comments or questions? Okay, great for the downtown. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. We will have documents signed right after the meeting. We'll just take.
Okay.
a minute, okay,
Thank you.
Thank you. We have road closure application or street closure application for Urban Light Community Church for their annual community party on July 11th. Leslie, right?
Yes,
How about that? I remember.
good morning.
Good morning.
Leslie McCrory, pastor at Urban Light Community Church.
Okay, and you are requesting,
Street closure of 7th Street between Madison and Monroe on the evening of Friday, July 11th.
and that is for safety.
Yes,
Yes, okay.
Yeah, I always ask this question and I know the answer, but I ask it anyway, so it's on the record. Do you anticipate any alcohol presence? And you have contingency plans in case it shows up?
actually, no, we do not.
Well, you
but-
might want to think about that. You know, what you haven't, what would you do if?
Okay, thank you.
Do you have security detail?
Yeah,
over
right.
there?
She does not always ask.
No, sometimes the police drive by,
Okay,
but we've never had issues and we've been doing this for a couple decades now.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I just like groups to do a little thinking about what would happen if, how you would respond, do you have emergency numbers
Linda,
available or
this is,
Yes, we
you're
have security
so
people
out
at
of
our church that
touch,
could
man.
call on that event.
This is what most people do. Most people don't live their lives just in fear of, oh, there might be alcohol around me. Most people are going to live their life, and if some crazy shit happens, they pick up the phone and they call 911. And that's what we do. We don't need to make a bunch of new laws to take care of shit. We don't need to act like like we're all scared and whatever. We just live life. And if something bad happens, we deal with it then. Look, and listen, as a former law enforcement officer, I get it. I keep my head on a swivel. I still set through my brain, and when I'm pulling up to the train, I leave myself enough room in case, God forbid, somebody starts shooting, I can get in and out. And, I keep going, I sit with my back to the wall and facing the exits when I go to restaurants and shit. I still role play like what happens if the shit hits the fan. I think that's what keeps people alive. But Linda just takes it to this extreme that's so bizarre. If these people have been having this for a couple of decades and have not had issues, if something bad happens, they'll call the police. It's that simple. It's not like a big ordeal.
It might not be a bad idea to think about that.
Okay.
I move approval of the application for the street closure.
And I'll second.
Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Great. Thanks for continuing the tradition. We have a couple street closure applications for Muncie Downtown Development.
Yeah,
Cheryl
thanks.
here with us this morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Cheryl Crowder, Muncie Downtown Development Partnership. And you have 3 requests for street closings. The first one is for June 5th for Break a Summer Arts Walk and Flower Hour. We closed the Walnut Street between Charles and the roundabout. That's where Yard sets up, and we'll have quite a bit of activity there. I think it's for 3 p.m. so that they have time to set up before the event starts at 5.
Okay. Go ahead
Okay.
and read these individually.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think you need to.
I move approval of the application for the street closure for the Brink of Summer Arts Walk.
And I'll second.
Okay. Any comments or questions?
I have one. Again, my usual question. Do you anticipate alcohol use and presence?
There probably will be some, yes.
And what provisions do you have for that?
We always have security.
Okay, great. Okay. Any other comments or questions? Okay, having none, all those in favor say aye.
Again, something that's
Aye.
went
All
on
opposed?
for
Okay,
years.
Motion carried. The next one, probably up for Fire Up Downtown.
Fire up downtown, August 2nd here, so a little bit earlier, back to our original kind of timeframe.
This says August 1st.
Yeah. I was
What's
just
going
gonna
on
look
with the
at original.
microphone here?
Okay, go ahead, Cheryl.
If it doesn't say August.
It says
It's
first.
August 1st at 10 p.m. So I think it's for the previous evening.
Yes, because we have a
Closure.
thank you. The event is August 2nd, but the request is for Walnut Street, at least the 100 block, closed at 10 p.m. on the 1st. To set up the stage the business street.
Okay,
So it's going to be the first and the second.
The event is only the
Clinton.
2nd, but setup begins on the 1st.
late on the 1st, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
After everybody's closed and,
Yeah.
and all that. So.
Okay.
And then I think we request until the 3rd for cleanup afterwards on Walnut Street from Main to the roundabout, Adams and Charles Street and Jackson, Adams, Charles and Jackson from Mulberry to Main.
We may need to make adjustments on the sheet, but
Yeah.
it should be okay.
So really, the dates need to be 8/1 to 8/3.
Yeah.
Just in there.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, great. Do we have any or do we have a motion to approve?
I move approval of the street closure for Fire Up Downtown.
Second.
Okay, any comments or questions?
Yeah, right.
I need to ask you a couple questions.
Okay.
Okay, no problem. I just want to ask you a question. Okay,
Sure.
okay, any other comments or questions? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And then we have the last one.
Our Classic Arts Walk, which is October 2nd. And that request is the same as Brink of Summer. It's just for Walnut Street from Charles to the roundabout.
You're putting us in a time crunch here, getting this approved before.
I know, I just thought it was easier if I just came and did them all at one time. So.
Because she doesn't like dealing with you any more than anybody else does, Ted. And Tweety Bird, that's a really good question. Tweety Bird says, what about those places that you can drink and mingle outside? What if she mingles into one? What if they mingle into one of these parties? That's right. And here's the thing. As I've heard last week, I think the DORA has now been approved. I think I'm looking here to see if there have been any updates. Let me look and see. I'm pretty sure that I have received word that the DORA, that the DORA area, I don't even know what that's supposed to be, the downtown open air alcohol free for all or whatever. And if that's not the name, it should have been the downtown open air alcohol free for all. That's what it should be called. Anyways, when the council voted on this back several months ago, they passed it. Then it went to the state, and the state gave its thumbs up. So I think it's in session now. or the door is in place, or the door lights are on, or I don't know. I don't know what has to happen, but I think you're right. So that's a good question. What if?
Okay.
Right, all right. I move approval of the street closure for October 2nd.
Second.
Second. Okay.
Second on the second.
Any other comments or questions? Okay, having none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, thank you very much, Cheryl.
Thank you very much.
We have a memorandum of understanding for Hickory and Elm LLC.
Oh, that's interesting. What's
Who's
that?
the
Yeah.
Leach.
Mr. Leach? Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Adam Leach, city engineer. So before you've got a memorandum of understanding that also has a perpetual grant of right-of-way easement. It's kind of on the back part of it. The long and short of it is that we need 6 feet of 655 North Elm Street, which is owned by Hickory and Elm LLC. In returns for them giving that to us, we were going to knock down the existing dilapidated structure there, which we would have had to do anyway with road widening. So it's kind of it. We'll knock it down. We don't pay them anything else. They get a free demo. We get 6 feet.
Okay.
Right.
Just making sure it's done correctly, right?
Checking all the boxes.
Yep, that's right. Thank you. Do we have a
Hickory and Elm was one of those LLCs.
I move
that
approval of
neighborhood
the
that we're looking
memorandum of
to-
understanding with Hickory and Elm.
Second.
And this includes the perpetual right-of-way easement, right?
Correct.
Is that a separate one?
It's a separate attachment, but it was all in one. So
That's the
I've got
last page.
the owner signed copy with me. So if you guys
We
would,
can handle it all at once. It's
Okay.
the same thing.
Thank you for that,
Okay,
Jackie.
So
I knew
the
it
motion
had
then would
happened.
be amended to include the perpetual
Yes.
right-of-way easement. Okay. Any comments or questions?
You need a second on that.
Oh, did you second it?
Second.
She did.
Okay.
After you mentioned it. Thank you. Okay.
Oh,
Any other comments or questions? Okay, thank you, Adam. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you very much.
thank you.
Do you have any other board comments or comments for the board? I'm sorry.
Or any board comment.
Yeah, or board. Depends how you spell the word board, right?
That's
Yeah,
true.
That's
true.
right. Okay.
Jesus.
Okay, well, having none, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.
No, he didn't knock his hand on the desk. What a loser. I'm going to have to get him to correct that. All right. I'm going to draw your attention to the claims. I've been going through these claims as these people have been boring us to death. And this is the claims that we just watched. First one of the claims I bring up is this. This is interesting to me. ARP, Coronavirus Local Fiscal REC, Board of Works, Substance Abuse and Behavioral Health Treatment, Crisis Center, various size mats, grand total of $97.43. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Jackie. There's also been a couple of other payments, like we're paying their utilities and stuff. We're paying for these mats. Now, listen, that's only $97. So, that's like you or I picking up a nickel or something on the road. So that's nothing. But the question is, why are we footing the bill for this? Why is the who is it that's doing it? It's not IU Health anymore. They left. It's the other thing that people don't really like. Why are they not footing the bill for this? Yeah, mats. I would assume it would be like maybe yoga mats or like mats that little kids sit on in a circle, crisscross applesauce, or for those that are not so weak, Indian style. Like in school or whatever, I would say they would like maybe sit on the floor and have like group time or something. I don't know. Maybe they're mats they put on. I'm going to tell you guys a really horrible thing. At the jail, there's these things that are called like the fart sacks. And they're what the bed, like the prisoners put on the metal parts. And they zip up around these mats and they smell horrible. That's why they're called what they're called. And maybe that's what they sleep on. Although you're not allowed to be there over 24 hours. So I don't know how much sleeping you're doing. Meridian. Yeah. And the guy from Louisiana comes in with the win. How amazing. Meridian Health Services. That's correct. Why are they not paying for this? The City of Muncie just recently toured that facility, and they're saying that it's up and running and everything's good to go. So I'm not really sure at this point why the City of Muncie is paying for any of this stuff. I'm not really sure why that would be a thing that's happening. This is the pictures of the tour of the facility. Tell who everybody is here. Who's this guy? Why is Josh Talby there? The student red is the animal shelter guy. Wait a minute. Is that the animal shelter guy? Yeah, because this guy that also looks like him is Chris Deegan. Chris Deegan, man, that is a really sad state of affairs that Chris Deegan and Josh Talby could be in a lookalike contest for each other. Chris Deegan, hey, buddy, I'm sorry to tell you, the deputy chief's position's not doing you any favors, boy. Ah, my God. That's horrible. All right, so we got Nora doing the Nora thing. Nora's always got her hair just curly and her hands are up and her hands are always doing something as she's explaining something to someone, being smarter than them. That's Nora. That's like Nora in her habitat. See, yeah, I could see like the mats going around this table, like they've only got one table here. This is really weird. What is this artwork on the wall? That's kind of looks like it needs to be covered. I don't really know what I'm looking at there. That's looking a little not appropriate for work. Okay, so this is like looks like a doctor's office, or kind of like it kind of looks like my vet's office, if you be honest. Maybe that's why Josh is there. Man. And I can't get close enough in to see who that is. I want to see. This is really weird. Like, I'm going to have to maybe say I'm going into crisis so I can go sit in these chairs and stuff. This looks like a pretty cool place to hang out. That's right. Space Cat thought it was an anatomy poster. Yeah, me too. Just a very, very close up. Yeah, so there's the inside of the crisis center. They're going to have a all come open house where we're all invited, which I'll be going to, and I'll try to get a bunch of pictures. I'll be honest. I don't believe for a minute that there are any patients here or have been here. I don't buy that there are patients here because I don't believe they would be having an open house if there were patients here. And they're sure as hell not going to let the public in, just mingling around, meandering around with patients there. So I'm telling you, listen to me, everybody out there. If you or someone you know works at Meridian, get in contact with me, please. It will all be off record. It'll all be off record. Call me, email me. You can call me at the studio line. You can email me personally at KH Bilbrey. You can email the show at the TPS program. Whatever you want to do, hit me up on Facebook, whatever. I'm needing to hear from somebody on the inside of this place. I want to know. I don't need to know names. I'm not asking you to break any kind of HIPAA. All I need to know is, yes, there have been people brought to this facility. Yes, you've seen patients, or no. So far, no one has come to this facility. No. So far, you have not seen one patient here. That's I believe that. I'm not saying that it's not open and they're not taking some kind of training or doing stuff, but I don't believe for a minute that this place is open. I'm just not buying it. I don't buy it. I don't believe that they will have people here or be accepting people until after the open house is done. I don't believe they're going to mix those, just people from the public and maybe somebody that's, because listen, you don't know when a crisis can occur. You don't know. Right now, the police could be getting called somewhere where someone needs to go to the crisis center. So if they've scheduled the open house for, the 20th of May and the 19th of May at 5:30 in the morning, someone's in major crisis and they end up going here, well, what are you going to do? You're just going to shove them back in a closet somewhere? Something is just still not right up with this. And I'm sorry to the City of Muncie. I'm sorry to Meridian, whoever, whatever. Something is sketch with this. So that's just where I am on that. Okay, going back here to this. So so far we're on page 12 of 27, and there's been a couple of other crisis center things, but this is the first thing I was like, I'm going to stop here. Yeah, Kid Rock, it looked dead when I drove by. That's what I'm saying. I can drive by this place multiple times a day, multiple days in a row, and I can see 2 or 3 cars there of what looks like it's probably the workers. I've seen people going in to like clean it. I've seen Mary Maids there a couple times, but I've just never seen anything else that looks like it's been going on. I don't know. Okay, going on down through here. Let's take a look and see what we've got. Just to see if there's anything else. It seems to be off. Okay. Yeah, I've talked to the Mary Maids people several times, and they've always been like, nope, doesn't seem like anybody's here. They've always told me that. Okay. This is always interesting to me when we're in the street department and we see that they're paying right where design $125. Of course, that's one of the supervisors of the street department. That's his own business. So I want to know if there's some kind of a conflict of interest form they filled out there. I don't believe so. Okay. Going down through here. Edit fund. Order works. Okay, this all looks normal. So it doesn't look like there's too much going on here out of the way at the moment in last week's. So that's pretty good. And nothing major there. Okay, nothing major there. Now, really quickly, I do while we're here, let me go in and take a look at the other thing, because you can always find differences when you go from one to the other. Here is the expenses through monthly expenses through okay. Give me a second here, where I try to put this on. Okay, let's see. Should I be able? All right. Looks like, all right, we can find if there's anything to who. So specifically in this, I'm looking to see. Let me see if I can share this to you. We will stop screen here, and we will present this to you here. Give me 1 second. Share. Hi, add that up there. All right. Now give me a second here. I'll blow this up. Or I'll try to anyways. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make it big. I'm going to take me away so you can see the whole thing there. And I'll talk over it real quick here. Let's look through here and see if there's anything that we see that is questionable. This is from all of April, I guess. Center Point Energy. See, the problem is any one of these that says Board of Works. Oh, right here. So, okay. Right here we go. We've paid on April 4th, we paid $84.66 to the to the crisis center. I don't understand why we're paying that. Why are they not paying that? This is like you have a rental property and you're renting it. And I say, oh, yeah, I need a house. I'm going to come rent this from you. And then I come and rent it from you. And you pay all of my bills, all of my utilities. I don't understand this. Okay. Let's go back up this way and just make sure we're not getting screwed over. Because I wasn't knowing where to look there for a second. When did they start putting it in, making it look like this in an Excel spreadsheet? I don't remember them doing this before. Have they always done this, Kate? Always? Dude, what is going on with my mind? Here's other services and charges. I always hate seeing other services and charges. I think that could be done a different way. Whatever. Telephone. That's interesting. What I'm looking for here is Adam. Okay. All right. Now we're down to where we were. All right. So now let's go on down further. Yeah. Flatland Resources, $4,000. Levy Engineering and Inspection. Interesting. Okay, here's $541.48 to Frederick's Inc. for substance abuse for the crisis center. That's their construction and contractors at Frederick's Inc. So something they're doing there. Holy crap. Look at this. 4425 GM Development Companies, $358.99 for the design project consultant fee for the fire department. Like at some point, I'm going to have to find up all the invoices for that. I'm just really waiting until they get closer to the end of the project because it doesn't make sense to get them now and then get them in a month from now. But like at some point, we're going to have to discuss how much money we're paying that douchebag. Okay. Let's see here. Okay.
There was Hoosier Municipal.
Where?
You passed it. They're
Yep,
alphabetical, dude.
right there. Yep.
$8,500.
There we go. April 4th, 2025, Hoosier Municipal, $8,489.75. There we go.
Alva, what was that under the 150,000 other services and charges?
Yeah, what was that on?
Do you remember who it was with? That's my favorite thing to see on these other services.
I know. And you know, used to Linda would argue about that, would bitch about that.
Yeah.
But now, I mean,
it was a Board of Works claim, he said. You don't remember to whom, though?
oh yeah.
Sorry, Alva.
No, yeah. Absolutely crazy. And when I'm off the show, I'll go through this really well and look just to make sure we don't miss anything. But just going down here really quickly. Okay, we're down. Oh no, we're not there yet. Isn't there a way? Whoop. Screw that up. Isn't there a way that I can type something in on this?
Okay, so you need to download it.
Okay.
You have to download it, and then you can search it.
Oh, look at this.
Sometimes the search feature doesn't work until it's downloaded. I think it's like find.
Okay, so
does that help?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That'll help me go through it one by one. Let me look up this find all. Okay, that's good. Well, we'll look through that. I'll look through that when I'm off here and go through. I need to go through a couple of last months to double check. It's been a minute since we've done all of that. But you see what's going on here. There are questions. There should be, to me, we should be asking questions more about what the other services and charges are for. And look, what I've always said about the Board of Works, they might be asking those questions in emails. They might be asking those questions before the cameras roll. But if they're not doing it in a way that the public can get those answers, or moreover, if they're asking Craig what those are, and Craig says, well, I don't know, let me get back to you, then the bigger question is, does he ever get back to them? Because I feel like he doesn't. I feel like that's just a cute thing that he says. So we'll be looking at that. And then also, I'm still waiting on records from the City of Muncie. It's the records that Kate was trying to get. Hopefully we'll have those soon. That'll be interesting. Those, of course, are the records that pertain to exactly how they're paying the company that Adam Leach works for, and what's going on with their reports that they're supposed to be turning into the city every so often due to projects that they're working with. So hopefully we'll have some information on that. And then I'm still waiting on records from Henry County, as I've told you, and those records are going to be very interesting. So as far as record requests goes, that Board of Works needs to ask Dan about contracts as well. Yeah, these are things, because this is what I've tried to impress upon Ted. When Ted is the head of the Board of Works and he's sitting up there, his name is on those contracts. So he's, in a roundabout way, liable for all of this as well. And he's connected to all of this. So if there's anything that's going on that's not exactly above board, old Ted is connected in there as well. So it's something that he should be concerned with. It's something that he should be asking, So, I just, I have no idea. I came up with a few joke ideas the other night of what might be on Leish's program. I think I've heard a couple different people come up with things that could show up on his progress reports. But that's funny. The big thing there, obviously, is it's in the contract. That contract that they signed, I'll be honest, I was talking to Kate about this the other day. As much as I dislike Dustin, and as much as I feel Dustin's contract is a joke, is ridiculous, Dustin's contract is every bit as put together as a contract that I would be happy with compared to the contract that Adam and his company has put together. They are night and day apart from each other. Like Dustin's would be like a world-class contract compared to the contract that the city has entered into with the company that Adam is apparently working for, because that contract says exactly nothing. It's got all the legalese that Dustin took out of his contract, but it has no words, no actual words, no duties, no explanation of what his day-to-day task is. That's really crazy. Hey, you need to move here. You need to move here, Alva. That would be fantastic. Hey, maybe you can get into one of those properties that the City of Muncie is the landlord for, and they could pay your all your bills and your monthly expenses. Maybe they could pay for your food. I've heard the City of Muncie likes to do that, and they are definitely in the landlord business. They've been very clear about that. So hopefully we'll have some of that information soon. I'm still looking into the neighborhood stuff there in the what they're calling the Live Learn neighborhood there at McKinley, the McKinley area. right there south of the river, across the street from Central and the new Y. So we're looking into that, and we'll have more of that to come. So this week is going to be a busy week. Tune in here. Be sure to be here on time, 9 p.m. We'll be here every week, every day this week. Every one of our normal days, meaning we'll be here. We're here tonight. We'll be here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, God willing. And we'll have a couple other interesting things for you as well along the way, such as the Muncie Council meeting tomorrow at 7 and the EPA meeting in Anderson at 5:30 on Tuesday. And we'll go from there. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is gonna do it. What's David Williamson here? And they can give you $5,000 stipend, Alva, and it's good. Yeah, right. That's exactly true. I forgot about that. If you move here from Louisiana, you can get involved in that nonsense, and they can give you money. I forgot all about that. That's right. Look at David Williams being on the ball. All right, folks. You know what to do. Smash that like before you leave. I would appreciate it if you could, if you would. Share the show with everyone you know. And we will be back here tomorrow at 7 p.m. for the council meeting. And then we'll be here at 9 after the council meeting. I don't think it's going to last very long, so I think that'll be okay. And then Tuesday, don't forget, 5:30 in Anderson at the Anderson Library, the Delaware County room, not the Delaware County room, the Delaware room is what it's called. And then we'll be back here after that at 9 p.m. as well. So you guys take care. God bless. You know it. That's right, David. Absolutely, 100%. But I'd rather Alva have it than somebody, than Dan, you know, so it is what it is. If Alva becomes Dan's cheerleader, he can. Hey, if he becomes a Dan addict, and works for the city, he could make a lot more than that. That's what I've told Brandon. Brandon Rudd, he's an engineer. He could undercut Leach and still make $200,000 a year and be doing just fine. So I don't know. All right, you guys take care. God bless. And we will see you back here tomorrow at 7 p.m. and then again at 9 p.m. All right, take care. Good night. Goodbye.